All right, welcome everybody. As today we talk about how to double your local business leads from your online marketing. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking, well, I know how to do that. I just need to spend twice as much. And while that is definitely a method to double your leads, that's not what we want to talk about today. What we want to talk about today is the common misconception that most everyone has when they go into any form of online advertising, and they focus on the traffic. They think it's about the traffic. How am I going to, where can I get the most clicks for the lowest price? And I'm here to tell you it's not about the traffic, it's about the conversion. There are lots of traffic sources out there. There are lots of different places you can get traffic, and that's why you really want to focus your attention on the conversion. The reason is if you focus on the traffic, you're always trying to buy cheaper and cheaper traffic, you'll always be priced out, right? And if you don't focus on the conversion, but you go to the high-end sources, well, you will find that the cost will finally push you out of the water on the other side because you are spending too much to actually get an opportunity. So the first thing we want to do is have a mindset change. Realize there's traffic out there. And no matter what, you can find traffic. Now we need to talk about conversions. So the first thing you do is, how are we going to get the best CTR for your ad? Every site that does pay-per-click, and that's what we're going to potentially talk about today, specifically Google AdWords, but this applies to any pay-per-click platform, whether that be Facebook or LinkedIn or Bing or any of those in that regard. They reward the highest CTR, which is a click-through rate on your ad. And so I want to show you a little something, which is this is a search for Cleveland, Ohio DUI attorneys. And I'm not in Cleveland, so I figured I'd pick on them. So I wanted to point out that these top ads, these AdWords ads, these represent, by the way, that little box on average gets about 60 to 65% of the clicks on a page for commercial intent terms like this. So if you ever had that question of, gee, does anybody click on these? The answer is absolutely. But I want you to look at those top three ads, and you can actually see the top one, that top ad there, Cleveland DUI OVI lawyer. Um, Look how much smaller that is relative to the second place ad. This top person is actually spending more money on their clicks than the number two person, which is Patatus DUI lawyers. And look at the size of the space that they have. All of that is possible for any business if you know how to set up your Google AdWords correctly. And you can imagine just visually that second place ad spend, even though it's not costing as much as the first place ad spend, so much, I mean, it takes up 50% of the box versus the number one and number three places. So you can imagine that that person's getting that much more clicks. And the phone number, you see the phone number is actually repeated 2 times here, as well as driving directions. All of that's possible to set up in your Google AdWords account to really grow your presence, your visual presence of what people see when they say, okay, hey, wow, I want to do that. We're driven by our eyeballs, and so we absolutely want to focus in on that. Yeah, it's also very important the words you say. I like that. Let a former prosecutor help you. Call for your free consultation. Free consultation is important. That's always big. Let a former prosecutor help you. That's implied strength by the experience. I would probably split test that, tighten that up a little bit, but definitely call for your free consultation is a very clear call to action. I like that one actually above, which is that save your license. That's a very powerful call to a fear. I would almost take see that let a former prosecutor help you. I would say save your license, call for your free consultation, and maybe remove that former prosecutor. But that's part of testing. I'm sure they've probably tested this, or hopefully they have. There's lots of different ways you can change those words to maybe improve, and you want to constantly be testing. So once you get a click, well, what does that matter? Well, what we need to do is now convert it. And this is where most people have a really big problem. And I'm going to show you an example. First example. This is a really clean website that likely would not convert very well at all. in terms of ads being sent to it. You may love it from a perspective. It's visually pretty. It's got some interesting colors, but it's not really clear. This call to action is over on the far side, down below. There's I'm not really sure exactly what my action is to do. There's lots of different things to click on, and you really want to get in your mindset that for conversion, you want one action marketing, which means give a person one choice. The fact is we don't want to have to think about it too hard when we're online, we're searching. So we're going to go with the easiest one possible. So then I'll go to one that's a little different. Now this one's a little bit better from a call to action perspective. As you can see, there's really only one thing or two things to do here, and this is good. Either call or submit your name. Now you may look at it as compared to that previous one and go, but it's not as pretty and it's not as attractive, and it's a little maybe even uglier, you'd say. And I'd say that's okay. It's not about necessarily being the most beautiful web page. In fact, oftentimes what we classify as sort of high contrast ads like this or high contrast landing pages do much better than what would be that slicker design that you just seen over here. So this one, even though it's visually maybe not as appealing artistically from a conversion point of view, which is what you care about since you're growing your business, is much better in that regard. And so then let's go to a final example, and this comes out of doesn't even come out of the attorney space. I did dig a little bit harder, and I wanted to show you what I really see as a great landing page. Now the only thing differently I would do up in this one is up in that right-hand corner. If this was a local business, which they're not, they're trying to build people out, I would have a call to action with a phone number. But this is very straightforward. The first thing they see is build an online poll in seconds. So you're answering an immediate problem. You fill that out, easily create, deploy, analyze website polls and surveys. So instead of talking about you and your business, you're talking about what is important to them. And then there's an immediate, very clear, high contrast call to action. And then underneath that, with these logos, or there's some supporting information. And that supporting information for you may be testimonials from other customers. It could be, if for instance, let's say you're an attorney and you have some good relations with some judges. Well, I would put that information there. I'd be, if you get a judge say, hey, I've known this guy for 10 years. He's a good man. Put that on there. Whatever that may look like. But the key is it's very straightforward. The customer immediately knows what they're going to get by using this product, and they immediately know what their call to action is. And you could do it. There's a simple test which you can do is if you get up and you walk away and you walk 10 feet back from your landing page and you look at it, and if you don't know exactly what you're supposed to do, you need to redesign that page. Conversion is everything. That's the big message I want you to take home on this, is if you really want to double your leads without doubling the money you spend, focus on getting a landing page that's very specific and a very specific call to action. And yes, tailored to your ads. You're much better off tailoring your ads very specifically to your landing page. And if these are things that they sound great and you need them, but you're thinking to yourself, "Wow, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. How am I going to spend the time doing that? I'm growing my own business already." Well, that's where Ruby Doe Leads can help. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link underneath that you can click to take you to a landing page to provide some information. Or if you're on Ruby Doe Leads, you can just hit the Contact Us form or the link underneath this video that you're watching right now. And we'd love to talk with you, if nothing else, just about what your strategy is and how we can help you. The fact is you need strategy, you need to know what you're going to do, and you need tactics. You need to know how you're going to do it. And we provide both of those. So hopefully this has helped you understand a little bit more about the intricacies of conversion and how you can grow your online business in terms of getting more leads for your business locally.